All right, guys, are you able to hear me? Guys, am I audible?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, is the screen visible? OneNote page?
No, sir.
Not visible. Okay. Now,
No.
No, sir.
just hold on. Now,
No sir.
no.
सर स्क्रीन इज बीइंग शेयर्ड बट कुछ दिख नहीं रहा है वहाँ पर ब्लैक ब्लैक ही आ रहा है.
Now,
Yes, sir.
Yes sir. Now it's
now it's visible. Okay, so we'll continue with the design. We have just a recap for those who have missed the lecture or maybe not those who have not revised it properly. Let us just have a quick look at what we are supposed to do. So we are supposed to design a small signal common source voltage amplifier using NMOS with the given specifications. The required gain should be greater than or equal to 50. Input signal is 50 millivolts peak or 100 millivolts peak to peak. The supply is plus 12 volts VDD, and specific requirement that R1 parallel R2 should be 100 kilo ohms. You are supposed to use 2N7000 device, and RL is going to be very high. Okay, so these are the specifications. We started with finding out VGS off, that is VT, ID on, which is 1 ampere, VGS on from the data sheet of 2N7000. Okay, with that we were able to use this formula over here. This formula to calculate K. Okay, we know that K is a very important factor here. So we found out that K was equal to 15.6 milliampere per volt square. Please note the units carefully. Then we have seen the various components that we are supposed to design. For example, RD we are supposed to select RS, we are supposed to select R1, R2, C1, C2, C3 and C4. Okay, all the other things are available to us. We start with this equation. IDQ is equal to K times VGS minus VT the bracket square, and we name this equation, number this equation as number 1, equation number 1. Now the second step was to fix the Q point. So since we are talking about a small signal amplifier application, the Q point selection becomes the very first and important step. Okay, for NMOS we know that the voltage gain is given with this formula. It is nothing but minus, because it is a common source, we are expected to have the phase shift of 180 degrees, okay, between the input and the output signals. So it was equal to minus GMQ, that is the GM at the Q point. Now already told you the Q point, if the Q point varies, GM will also vary, because this is a non-linear curve. Okay, the transfer characteristics being non-linear, GM will also change. So at a particular value of GM, that is GMQ, we are using this formula multiplied by output impedance, and you get the gain. Okay, so but what is the output impedance? Output impedance is RL parallel RD parallel R2. Okay, since we know that RO is already very high, RL is given as very high, so we can approximate the output impedance to RD only. So my equation now becomes AV, that is the voltage gain, is equal to minus GMQ into RD. Then we went for the selection of the VDSQ. Okay, so where is this VDSQ supposed to be? Such that on the output characteristics, this Q point will lie on the center of the load line. So that is the reason why I call it as a symmetric output. For symmetric output, we've already seen this concept in the bipolar junction transistor amplifier. Okay, we select this to be half of VDD. Okay, so that becomes 0.5 into VDD. Then we said that VDD minus ID into RD minus VSQ is equal to 0, applying KVL to the output side of this circuit. Over here, as you can see, this voltage plus this voltage, okay, plus this voltage actually, but right now we are neglecting this voltage across RS. Okay, so we are neglecting voltage across RS over here for the time being. Okay, that is nothing but ID into RS. So that gives me RD equal to VDD minus VDSQ by IDQ. So it turns out to be 0.5 VDD divided by IDQ. Now transconductance, we already know the equation for transconductance, and since we know the equation for transconductance, that is the transfer characteristics. This is VGS, this is ID. So at a particular given point, I am supposed to find the slope. The slope is going to give me the transconductance. All right. So something like this. Slope at this point. Okay. Now the slope can be found out using the derivative of the transfer function. Now once I do that, I have to differentiate this particular equation with respect to VGSQ. Okay. So once I do that, I get an equation GMQ is equal to 2 times into 2 into K into VGS minus VT. Once I put all the values over here, I get GMQ is equal to 0.0312 into VGS minus 2. So once I do that, I'm going to apply this equation which we have already finalized in the second step rather, and that is AV as minus GMQ into RD. So I'm just modifying this, manipulating this equation algebraically, and then I'm finding the equation for IDQ in terms of the gain and the VDD, because RD is given, RD is 0.5 VDD divided by IDQ. So once I do that, I get an equation again for IDQ. So I have two equations for IDQ. You can see here equation 2 and equation 3. So divide equation 3 by 2, I can find out the value of VGSQ, which happens to be 2.24 volts. Okay. So it is nothing but solving two equations simultaneously. Okay. Then IDQ can be found out very easily. We already know the equation for that. So IDQ turns out to be 898.56 microamperes. Right. And I calculate RD. So if I calculate RD, I get the value of 6.67 kilo ohms. And we will use both the ways. Like we are going to use the standard values as well as, by simulation, we are going to use the raw values as well as the standard values and see what is the difference. Okay. Then for stability, now I introduce Vs, which is equal to ID into Rs. So for stability, already know what stability means. So for stability, I introduce this drop Vs such that it is 0.1 VDD. This is again a design rule or a rule of thumb, let us say. Then Rs turns out to be 1.33 kilo ohms. I'll use a standard value of 1.5 kilo ohms. So now we have to recalculate Vs because you are using a different value from the one calculated, and that happens to be 1.35 volts. So Vs happens to be 1.35 volts. And now I have this equation Vg is equal to Vgs plus Vs. How do I get that equation? Because we can apply KVL again at the input side. This was your Vg. This is VGS, and this is Vs. So applying KVL on this loop, I get this equation. All right. So from that I can find
Yes,
out what should be the expected value or what should be the value of Vg. Once I find that Vg, but Vg is also given as, it's a potential divider equation which I am using over here. So VDD into R2 divided by R1 plus R2. So I get one equation corresponding to that because we already know Vg. That turns out to be 0.299. R2 by R1 plus R2 happens to be equal to 0.299. Call this equation number 4. Now we are also given in the specification that R1 parallel R2 is 100 kilo ohms. So I can use this feature very nicely here. And so what is R1 parallel R2? It is nothing but R1 R2 divided by R1 plus R2, which happens to be 100 kilo ohms. Call this equation number 5. Now I simply divide equation 5 by 4 to obtain the value of R1. R1 turns out to be 334.44 kilo ohms. Later on I will be using the standard value of 390 kilo ohms.
sir, you are not audible.
We have seen the AC equivalent of BJT. Also the model, AC model of MOSFET. Now this is the AC equivalent of the amplifier as a whole. So I start with the model itself of the for the device. Very simple model. So this was the model for MOSFET. Do you remember this, guys? This was the gate.
Yes, sir.
This was the source. This was the drain.
Drain.
Okay, and I have the
Yes.
values as this as RO. What is this? Come on, tell me. It is GM into VGS.
Yes.
All right, and then I finish the model with the external resistors now. R1. This is R2. And you are having the input voltage here, whatever is the signal voltage. Similarly, on the output side, I have RD and we have the load. All right. So again, you see that I have included the phase shift also here. Well, that won't matter at this point. So we have this model, okay, for is the AC equivalent circuit for the small signal common source. You're getting this? Any doubts? Any questions with this? Yes.
No, sir.
Now the third and the last step is the selection of the capacitors. So why don't the capacitors appear in the AC equivalent? Can anyone tell me the answer? Why don't the capacitors appear in the AC equivalent model circuit? Yes, come on, tell me, guys.
So we use capacitors as filters so that the output which we get should not like have so much distortions or the input signals and then
See, if you have started studying properly, then you will be able to understand and answer this question. AC, for AC, the capacitors act as,
Short circuit.
yes. And that is the reason why capacitors will not appear in the AC equivalent. Now, if you are not studying regularly, it's going to be a very difficult thing for all of you. Anyways, so we start again with the saying that XC1, that is the capacitive reactance, should be less than or equal to 0.1 times, that is 1/10 of parallel combination of R1 parallel R2. Okay, where at the lower cutoff frequency, generally the lower cutoff frequency also will be given, but if not given, consider it to be FL as 20 hertz always, because this is the audio range, and FH as 20 kilohertz. Okay, so this is the low frequency, let us say amplifier, audio frequency amplifier, if you will. So FL has to be at 20 hertz. So now I have to calculate this value. So C1 should be greater than. So okay, I should not, I'll skip the step here because many of you don't remember things. So since XC1 is, what is this? It is nothing but 1 upon 2 pi FLC1. So that gives me 1 upon 2 pi into 20 hertz into C1. Now I can easily find out the value of C1.
yes.
Can I find out the value of C1? So C1 should be, according to this equation, C1 should be greater than or equal to 1 divided by 2 pi into 20 hertz into 0.1 into 100 kiloohms. How do I get this? Because parallel combination of R1 and R2 is expected to be 100 kiloohms. All right? Yes?
So
So this happens to be, can you calculate this for me? Now the point of concern is that the seem to be the reason. I've already warned you that if you miss a couple of lectures, you'll not be able to understand anything after that. But it doesn't mean that you have to simply keep on skipping the lecture or avoiding the lecture, because that gap will go on increasing, and at a certain point you'll give up. Take it from me. So those who have not attended, students who have attended, please tell your friends that this is a very, very important session. All these sessions are very important, which are the basics of your devices. So don't miss them. All right. So yeah, anyone who has calculated this value, please calculate this value. Guys, are you there?
yes, sir.
Okay, so calculate.
79.6 microfarad.
Yes.
Yes, sir. So 0.796 microfarad or
So that turns out to be, I get a value of 795.
sir 795. Sir, you are not audible.
This value.
So your voice was not audible. Sir, you are not audible again.
So you're not audible.
Students, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
So Have all of you been getting this same value? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Yes or no?
Yes, sir. Excuse me, sir. Sir,
Yeah.
your voice was not audible, and then we are not attendees, sir. Someone removed me from the meeting right now.
Sorry?
I've joined again.
Sorry?
Sir, someone is removing me from the meeting, sir. I'm joining
No,
again and
that is
again.
not possible because I've set the status to do not disturb. So the complete control is with me. Nobody can do that for you.
Sir, please make everyone attendees so
Sorry?
that they cannot do that.
Come again,
Sir,
please.
they are
Please
not.
make everyone attendees so that student do
Everyone?
that.
Attendees.
Yeah.
Make attendees, sir.
Sir, attendee cannot remove.
Everyone.
एक एक करके बोलो यार, समझ में नहीं आ रहा है. हाँ, बोलो.
सर, अटेंडी बना देंगे सारे को तो कोई भी रिमूव नहीं कर पाएगा किसी को.
क्या करूंगा मैं? क्या करूंगा तो कोई रिव्यू नहीं कर पाएगा?
अटेंडी में बना दीजिए सारे को. ऑप्शन आता है सारे को अटेंडी बनाने का.
अरे ठीक से नहीं, मुझे ठीक से पता नहीं चल रहा है आप क्या बोल रहे हो. Please, can you please repeat?
सर जितने भी स्टूडेंट्स हैं वो सबको अटेंडेंस बना दीजिए.
आवाज चली गई तुम्हारी. क्या करूं?
सर अटेंडी बना दीजिए सारे को.
किसको अटेंडी बना दूं? सबको?
सारे पार्टिसिपेंट्स को ऑप्शन आता
अच्छा.
है.
Yes, sir.
सारे अटेंडीज को पार्टिसिपेंट बना. So how do I do that? I don't know.
Sir, there is an option when there is the list of the participants. Make
Yeah,
attendee.
I have the list of participants.
In that, sir, there is an option to make attendee.
हाँ, बट हर एक के लिए करते बैठूंगा तो लेक्चर का टाइम चला जाएगा.
नो सर,
Sir,
सारे
उसके settings होते हैं.
बनाने का आता है.
I have not seen the setting. That's the problem.
ओके
For
सर.
example, ये अभी इसको अटेंडी बना सकते.
So you can make directly to all.
Yes. ये ऐसे प्रॉब्लम तो आज नहीं आ रही थी. I don't know who is playing around. Now, if you are not interested ना, please don't attend it. लेकिन बाकी लोगों को डिस्टर्ब नहीं करना है. अभी देखी जाएगा ये जब टेस्ट आएगा ना, तो ये जो प्रॉब्लम्स क्रिएट कर रहे हैं ना, वो 0 मार्क्स मिलेंगे उनको. Take it from me.
Yes, sir. Again and again I'm joining and as I'm trying to speak, जैसे मैं join कर रही हूँ, again someone was removing it like 7 to 8 times.
This is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. Now try to behave like grown-ups, yeah. Try to behave like grown-ups. This is a professional college. You are attending a professional course. और ऐसे कुछ कर रहा है, तो this is ridiculous. ये होना ही नहीं चाहिए. अब तक कोई नहीं हो रहा था. I don't know what's wrong with the guys now.
So this happens like whenever like we are not the attendees in any lecture. So some students are there, they start doing this thing like they just notice and like we are not attendees and this thing start happening in the class.
Okay. Can you give me a simple way of making all of them attendees and not? But actually, I have all the charge of organizer, right?
Yes,
Nobody
sir.
should be able to do
Sir,
that.
most of the lectures,
Sorry.
वो सारे lectures में हो जाता है. Mostly like start of the lecture में you can make all of us attendees. So sir, mostly all the teachers, sir आपके lecture में भी होता है. But I guess today it's what's not there. So इसीलिए फिर everybody was doing this.
नहीं, ऐसे नहीं होना चाहिए. This is wrong.
Yes sir, it happens like किसी भी lecture में अगर like teacher forgets इस गलती से कि attendees बनाना, then they start doing this thing. And so those who are answering like or studying and then they remove them from the meeting again and again. So that creates a disturbance.
No, every time. See, for all 120 students, forget about 120. 60, 70 भी अगर होते हैं ना, तो हर एक को अटेंड करते बैठा तो कितना टाइम चला जाएगा?
नहीं सर, आजकल अभी स्टार्ट
एक एक करके बोलो प्लीज.
सर जहाँ से आप अटेंडेंस डाउनलोड करते हैं वहाँ पे एक ऑप्शन आता है
Where is it?
सर जहाँ से आप लिस्ट ऑफ पार्टिसिपेंट्स में आप अटेंडेंस डाउनलोड करते हैं ना,
हाँ
scroll होता है, उसके अंदर शायद होता है
हाँ,
सारा
मैनेज
टेक्निक
परमिशंस।
वहाँ पे होता है सर, शायद वहाँ से अटेंडी बनाने का ऑप्शन।
Okay, just let me.
सर मेक ऑल अटेंडी का ऑप्शन आता है सारे को एक बार में।
नहीं आता है ना वो। Okay, who can bypass the lobby? That option I have enabled only to me. Now let us see what is the difference. ठीक है? Is that fine now?
Okay, sir.
Okay, let us see. Let us see what happens. All right. And I have downloaded all the lectures. I have downloaded all the lectures, and I'm going to make an app for. I'll be uploading it to the YouTube. So those who have missed the lecture can. Because I don't have time for that right now, but I'll try doing it. Okay. So I'll make an app which you can directly look at all my lectures, attend all my lectures offline. ठीक है?
Sir, now everybody is an attendee. So.
हो गया ना?
Yes, sir. हो गया.
Okay, fine. That is fine. Okay, I came to know that now. Okay, fine. I'll do that from next time. ठीक है?
Okay, sir.
All right. Okay. So let us continue with this. So what is the value that you are getting for C1?
Sir, I was getting 0.795 microfarad. Sir, it will be like
Microfarad नहीं हो सकता है. ये microfarad हो ही नहीं. Point. अच्छा, point मिले तो. Okay. You're getting 0.795, right? Something like that.
Yes, sir. Yes.
That is nothing but 795.77 whatever nanofarads.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now we are supposed to select C1 greater than or equal to. So I can use a standard value of, let us say, 1 microfarad. Okay, we'll do that later on. All right. Now let us go back to selection of C2. Okay. So XC2 is equal to 1 divided by 2 pi into, again, FL into 0.1 into RS. Okay. We are making sure that XC2 is less than or equal to 0.1 times RS. This is the underlying equation. Okay. So can you find this out now? 1 upon 2 pi into 20 hertz into 0.1 into what was the RS that we had selected? We had calculated, in fact, and selected, of course.
1.33 kilohertz.
But we had selected 1.5, right? Okay, so 1.5 kilohertz. So how much this turns out to be? Someone, can you please calculate this for me? Come on, guys, be fast. Guys, are you there?
Yes, sir. Yes.
What is the value? Come on. This is a practice. Yes. Tell me what is the value?
So 53.05 microfarad.
Yes,
Sir,
so again 53.
So 53.05 microfarad.
05.
Microfarad.
Microfarad. Sir, you are not audible.
Guys, what are the units?
Sir, microfarad. Sir, your voice was not audible. You were
Microfarad.
saying-
Something went wrong there.
Sir, microfarad.
Okay, very good. So we will use the standard. Remember again, it has to be XC2 has to be less than, so C2 has to be greater than this equation, whatever. All right, standard value 68 microfarad we'll use. Okay, then we'll see C3. So again, using the similar kind of concept, I can use this directly. 2 pi into 20 hertz. We have done this for common emitter amplifier as well, into 0.1 times RD. This turns out to be 1 divided by 2 pi. Again, making this XC3 less than or equal to 0.1 times RD at FL.
L.
So into 20 hertz into 0.1, and we had taken 6.8K. That turns out to be how much? Yes? Come on.
Sir, 11.70 microfarad.
7 microfarad.
70.
We will use
7.
15 microfarad or even bigger than that. Okay?
Sir.
Now the last component is C4. Now this C4 involves 2 pi into FH. This is the difference. Into RD parallel RL. But RL is very high, so it turns out to be RD only. So I'll approximate it this way. Okay, so what do I get? Yes?
Sir, 117 microfarad.
Okay, I'm getting 1.17 nanofarad. Okay. Now here we have to make sure that C4 is not greater but is less than or equal to this value. So we'll select C4 slightly less than this, whatever is the standard value. This is one important difference. The last point, to calculate the actual gain, we have to calculate the GM. So what is this GM? GM is equal to 2 times K dash W by L into S minus V. So I get 2 into 0.0156 into VGS was 2.24 minus 2. This is, calculate this for me. How much do I get? 7.488 millisiemens. So I can calculate the gain AV, the actual gain, as minus GM into RD. That turns out to be how much? 7. So minus 7.488 into 6.8 kilo ohms. Find out how much this is.
So 0.051.
This is, don't forget that this is millisiemens.
Yes, sir. Sir, kilo and milli will be cancelled. So it will be, sir, minus also we will be considering now.
Yes, of course. Now we have to consider this minus sign. So minus,
0.051.
how is it possible? 7 into 6 is simply 42.
So 50.92.
Yes, so it is 50.92. And we were expecting a gain of? Yes? What was the gain that we are expected? Greater than or equal to 50. So
50.
our gain is fine. This is just a verification, all right? Yes?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So with that we have designed the amplifier. Now let us see whether our calculation is correct or not. So the second step, please remember always in design, whenever you start with designing a product, whatever it is, the first step is the paper design. That is what we have done. The second step is verification of the design using a simulation tool. Okay, we have already done this lots of times. Okay, so now I will switch over to multisim and see what are the performance characteristics of the amplifier that we have designed. Okay, so I'll just switch over to multisim. So is the multisim screen visible to you? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, we'll first start with the raw values, all the raw values. Okay, you can see here. I'm interested in only the peak-to-peak value, so only peak-to-peak DC is not required. I will switch off all the other parameters. Okay. So is the screen visible to all of you?
Yes, sir. It's visible.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And what was the value for RS that we have calculated? 1.33 something. I'll change this to 1.
Yes, sir.
So we'll see the raw design. What happens with the raw design? All the other values are correct, right? Just
Yes,
verify
sir.
that. All the other values are correct, no? Yes. So the very first thing that we are going to do is the transient analysis or the interactive analysis, and we'll see what is the performance. Okay, here you see something bad is going on. What has happened? What has happened? There is a distortion here.
Distortion.
Right? There is a
Yes, sir.
distortion. All right. So we will
Yes.
have to modify it, tweak it a little bit, because the actual parameters of 2 and 7000 model that Multisim uses may be slightly different from the one that we have selected from the datasheet. Now these things are possible.
So you are not audible.
Audible.
And some other things are also different. Okay, I am trying to explain, guys.
So your voice was not audible for last few seconds. So can you repeat? So you were saying like parameters would be different from what we selected from data.
Yeah. Why the performance was different? I'm telling you that why the performance is different, because it is quite possible that the multisim uses a slightly different model of the device which we have selected from the data sheet. Okay, these things keep on doing because there are so many different companies which manufacture this, but more or less they are same, not exactly the same.
So practically there is no distortion when we use 2 and 7000.
Exactly, we will see what to do about that. Okay, so well, this is not a good picture, but let me change this to a different device, and we will use a generic virtual transistor. Okay, and I'm going to change the width. Of course, I'll have to change VT also. So you can see that these parameters play a very important role. So let me see what has gone wrong here. I'll go back to the initial device and try to find out what is the L and W. So L happens to be 2 micro. Well, I don't want to confuse you with that. Let us not go into these things. Okay. So okay, fine. My output was like this. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the standard values. See this? Is this visible? All of you?
Yes,
Guys?
sir.
Is this visible? Now see, I have
Yes.
used standard values, 1 microfarad here. Then I've used 390 kilo ohms here, 150 kilo ohms, the higher values, slightly higher values. This also you can see over here very clearly. All right. Now let us see. Oops. This was supposed to be the interactive simulation. So now you can see this. Yes.
Sir.
Now is there any distortion? No, there isn't any.
No.
Look at the gain. The gain that we are getting is peak to peak is 7.7, and our input is 100 millivolts peak to peak. This is peak to peak, remember? Okay, I'll just change this again. Is this visible? Peak to peak voltage is 7.7.
7.7.
What is the actual gain? Can you find out what is the actual gain? Yes? Anyone? Can anyone find out the actual gain? Guys? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
So what is the actual gain? You simply have to divide this 7.7 by 100 millivolts. Is that so difficult? How much is the gain? The gain happens to be 77 point whatever. 77. Whereas we are expecting gain to be greater than 50. So this actually is quite okay. We are expecting the gain to be greater than 50. All right. Is that fine?
Yes. Yes.
Fine? Is that fine? Somebody
Yes,
has
sir.
raised the
Yes,
hand.
sir.
I don't know. Bhavai Chopra, you want to say something? All right. So what we have achieved is the small signal amplification. Is that fine?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Now let us see
Yes,
the
sir.
frequency response. So we have seen only the transient response or the interactive output. Let us go for the AC sweep. Again, for AC sweep, my start frequency is 10 Hertz, stop frequency is 100 kilohertz, number of points per decade is 100, vertical scale is logarithmic, and if I output, I have to see the output. So we probe 1, ER1. Okay, this one. All right. So if I run this, let me see what happens. So this is what I get. We are not interested in finding out the phase. So we will get this picture here. Now let us find out what is the maximum gain. So this is the cursor number 1. Are you able to see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what
Yes,
is the
sir.
maximum
Yes, sir.
gain? The maximum gain happens to be Y1, which is 38.14 dB. Okay, this one.
Yes, sir.
You're able to see this 38.1478, whatever.
Yes, sir.
Now we are supposed to find out the bandwidth. So what should I do? I have to move this cursor number 2 so that its Y1, Y2 is 38.14 minus 3 dB. That turns out to be 35.14, right?
4, yes, sir.
So I will shift this
Yes, sir.
to 35.14.
1, 4.
So I already have this, and then you can read off the value from the X axis, X2 as 25.92. So I'm getting slightly less bandwidth, lower frequency response. We started with 20 Hertz, but then it is actually giving me 25 Hertz, starting from 25 Hertz. Okay. Now what about the upper cutoff frequency? I have to move this all the way so that this becomes, just watch out for this Y2. Y2 has to be 35.14.
1, 4.
So I'll approximately go over there, 35.14. Yeah. What is the value then of X2?
Sir, 23.9
23.9 kilohertz.
Yes, sir.
All right. So that is fine. We wanted 20 hertz to 20 kilohertz. Actually, we are getting about 25 hertz to 23 kilohertz. That is quite okay. Okay. So this is the way in which you have to design, paper design the amplifier. You have to verify it with simulation, make some changes so that there is no distortion. Use, first of all, try with the raw values, then substitute with the standard values, and then find out, using the transient analysis, find out whether you are getting the correct, whether you are getting the distortionless output, and finally you are supposed to see the frequency response.
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
So you are not audible.
Guys,
Yes, sir, you were not audible.
yeah, I know there is the frequent call drop going at this place. I don't know what's the problem, but anyways, what I said was the steps of a
Yes.
design, complete design, are there in front of you. Start with the paper design. Okay, verify it with simulation. With the raw values first, make some changes if there are some distortions. substitute with standard values, check the transient response, see whether you are getting any distortion. Otherwise, again, you'll have to tweak the values, and then finally go for the frequency response. Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. So I wanted to start with the CMOS, the MOSFET for digital circuits, but the time remaining is less. Anyways, I will start with that. We'll continue with the same topic tomorrow itself. Okay, so now we have seen the linear application. That is a application of MOSFET as an amplifier, right? Let me switch back to.
Yes, sir.
Any doubts? Any questions in the design?
No, sir.
Just wait for some time. Okay, so we will start with a new page here. Is this page visible to all of you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So MOSFET for digital circuits. Okay. Now basically, when we talk about digital circuits, we are going to use the MOSFET as a switch. Guys?
Yes, sir.
So we are going to use the MOSFET as a switch. In the digital circuits, the MOSFET will always work in the which regions? Which regions will it work? Yes? It will work in cutoff and the triode region. All right, guys.
Yes, sir.
So it will work in the cutoff and the triode regions. Now somebody is trying to join the session. Abdul Khan and Disha Pant.
Sir, I guess lobby
Sir, you have created the lobby.
created.
Yes.
So you were saying now something about the lobby you have created, like you can bypass the lobby. So, sir, I
But
guess
if I
like
bypass, make you bypass the lobby again, the same problem will pop up. Now these people,
Them.
they are joining just at the end of the lecture.
yes,
I guess.
sir. Yes,
So
sir.
let them say
Yes,
that
sir.
like that only. So no issues with that. All right. Just 2 minutes. Joining the 2 minutes before the session is not going to help you because I'm going to cut off those people who have joined after 10:30 as it is. All right. So yeah. So I said MOSFET is going to work as a switch, and naturally it is going to work in the cutoff and the triode regions. Okay. Now,
Yes.
how can we build digital circuits with MOSFET? That is the most important thing. Okay. The main objective of most digital logic circuits is to have the high and the low output states. Okay. So,
Yes,
for
sir.
example, if I have simple logic gate, whatever we supply that you want, and I can simply have a switch like this. Okay, and I can control this switch somehow. and here you have the output. So which is the simplest gate possible with this combination? Yes? Which is the simplest gate possible? Guys? Guys, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Which is the simplest gate possible? I mean, do we have any gate? For example, okay, let me put it the other way around. Okay, so if I somehow control this switch, if I make this, if I have a high here, okay, what will happen? The switch will close. In that case, what will be the output?
So ground.
Yes, it will be 0 or low. Now let
Yes,
us talk
sir.
in terms
Yes,
of
sir.
high and low. Okay. Now, what is this concept of digital logic, digital circuits? I'll tell you. Basically, I'll say that digital circuits which you have studied in DC, or digital levels to be more precise,
Yes, sir.
is a subset of analog levels. What do I mean by this? In digital circuits, we already have this kind of picture, that a certain band or certain range of voltages I'm going to call as low. And a certain range of voltages I'm going to call as high. Are you getting this point?
Yes, sir.
Remember always that you will never get exact 5 volts and exact 0 volts if you are talking about TTL. Okay, but
Yes, sir.
we have this range of voltage being recognized as high or logic 1 and this range of voltage being recognized as logic 0. This is for our convenience. So there won't be any effects as far as the noise is concerned, etc., etc. This is forbidden. Okay, this region is the forbidden voltage band. Okay, na? So here now in this case, when I apply high over here, the switch closes and I get low at the output. Okay, if I do this again, now I am keeping the switch off. So a low here. What will be the voltage here?
High.
It will be high.
Hi.
So which gate is being simulated? Or
Sir,
rather
not
emulated? Which
NOT
gate is
gate.
emulated?
not gate.
Yes?
The not gate.
Yes, it is the NOT gate.
Okay.
So if I simply have a device which controls, which is being controlled by some other voltage at the input, I can realize a NOT gate. Okay, more about
Yes,
this
sir.
tomorrow. I think we have already run out of time. But just remember these basic things. So a simple thing would be to replace the switch with our MOSFET.
Okay, sir.
Again, there are two variations. You can use either NMOS or you can use PMOS.
PMOS.
We will see that tomorrow in more details. All right?
Okay,
Okay,
sir.
sir.
Okay then. We'll stop here for today. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Thank you,
sir.
sir. Thank you.